Ghana has been described by some as a boiling pot of different cultures and different religions. This week, the Hare Krishna religion, or is it sect?
It's a movement and
It's
a
a
religion.
movement. A movement is having a special, I must say, week because they have a very special person in visiting them, a world leader visiting, visiting them. And he's in the person of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Krishnapat. All right, did I
That's
get it right?
No
All
problem.
right. Well, here we say Akwaba.
Madassa.
Well, let's start by talking about Hare Krishna movement. Yeah, what is it all about?
Well, we're a very large movement. You know, we have millions of followers worldwide. And we recognize that there's one God, and the same God is sending different representatives according to time, place, and circumstance.
You know, I have your CV here, and then let me read a part of it. As a child, you were an evangelist who appeared regularly on television. As a young man, you were a leader in Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s civil rights movement. You're highly educated, you were a student leader, and you've held so many important positions. Did you always start as a member of this movement, or you were from another religion, then you move on to it?
Well, I've always been interested in world order problems. Just
Okay.
like, you know, I'm an author, a psychotherapist, and
Yeah.
I'm a scholar of international law. So our movement is like this. Our movement is very global and concerned with all aspects of existence. Just like, for instance, today, I'm just finishing a 35-country world tour.
Mm.
And so I was doing basically four things. First, I was addressing the leadership communities in many countries, principle-centered leadership. I've been addressing the medical communities, talking about ways to take care of the body, the mind, and the soul to create a whole holistic environment. Also, organizing many interfaith conferences. The idea is that we as religious leaders should be able to make a difference by working together to improve on the quality of life for the people in the various countries. And then last, I've been visiting my own temples. You know, we have many temples worldwide. We have farms, we have cottage industries, we have free clinics, we have alternative schools. So I'm in trying to see how much we are involved in being able to help with nation building from a more of a human and spiritual perspective.
You know, it's interesting when you talked about addressing interreligious, interfaith, seminars and conferences and all that. Is it true that Hare Krishna started from India?
It's true that most of the religions are non-Western. Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, and the Krishna movement also is coming from a non-Western and Afro-Asiatic type of framework.
It's interesting. You know what is happening in India now? They seem to have a religious problem where different religions can't seem to live peacefully.
You're right, it's a world problem. The world problem is a problem of sectarianism, whether it's based on ethnicity, whether it's based on political persuasion or differences, whether it's from racism or religious fanaticism. One of the greatest problems in the world today is people are not honoring unity with diversity. Diversity is very important, but when there is an absence of unity, then the more diversity, the more chaos, the more pandemonium. But when there is a strong nucleus that's based on real human concerns or God focus, then the more diversity, the more there is beauty, the more things complement each other.
Yeah. Those of us who don't really know about this movement have different perception about it. First of all, why do you dress the way you dress?
Because I'm also hailing from three worldviews. I'm a Western scholar, I'm an Indian guru, I'm an African high chief in many countries.
Yeah. Okay. Not just
You see the
you,
point?
but the
As
the
our
movement
society.
members as a society.
Okay.
The way you dress, you have this particular apparel you wear, and then you have this thing, on your face and all that.
Because most of the people who are normally seen in the unusual dress, the robes, we are the monks and the priests.
Okay.
Just like in the Catholic order, you have the cardinals, the bishops, they wear their certain dress.
Okay. So you have some members who wear
Oh,
normal
yes.
clothing, like.
Our members are in all aspects of society,
Oh.
here as well as all over the world.
Okay. Okay.
See, the sweetness is that, there's one God. And the important thing is not so much the dress or the ritual, but the consciousness. if we analyze the significance today is that many people are having mundane consciousness mainly of exploitation, manipulation, capitalization, chauvinism, racism, excessive genderism, and religious fanaticism. But we need more of a consciousness that's about the culture of love.
Yeah. You know, ignorance is a very dangerous, thing. If people don't understand, the way people behave, the way people, we're bound to see them. And I'm sure that even your Ghanaian members will admit that sometimes people, the working time, people look at them in a way, and just as you described, just as the Catholics dress like that, nobody will look at it because it's like normal accepted, but we don't normally see the Hare Krishnas, and we sometimes confuse the Hare Krishnas and the Hindus and the Buddhists. You don't really see the distinction there.
Sometimes it's confusing because we as Africans, we become so westernized. And so we expect to see people in Western clothes doing Western things. But we're cultural people. And the Krishna movement is also very cultural. And so most people, as they look close at our society, they're very excited because they find antiquity or ancient things as well as contemporary modern meeting in a wonderful, wonderful marriage.
Okay. Do you marry?
I don't myself, but most of our members do marry. I'm in a special order, just like the Pope or the High Cardinal.
Okay.
And so I've taken a vow of celibacy. But celibacy means that I make the world my family. Okay. And so I'm to give the same love to anyone I meet, just as if they were a biological member of my family.
Okay. So you've never been married?
I've never been married.
Okay. So what about the haircut? Where some of them leave something behind. Is it also a special group of people?
It's something you find in the monastic order, in most traditions. Often Christian monks, Buddhist monks, Hindu monks, they have a shaven head, which emphasizes simple living and high thinking. It emphasizes that one should be more godly rather than more worldly.
Thank you for simplifying the whole issue to us. It's been, so confusing. And even sometimes you see them without shoes, without slippers. Yeah. But this morning I see that you're wearing the traditional native sandal. I guess you got it from here.
Yes. We, as we said, our society is really concerned about how to improve on the quality of life.
Right.
And we want to address the fact that we're all ultimately from the same God. Okay. The world is having tremendous difficulties at this time. And so there's a need for people to make a difference by first making the family nicer, by making themselves better, and then it makes the tribe, it makes the world a better place.
So what are you here for? What specifically are you coming to do in Ghana?
So I'm meeting many of the leaders, interfaith leaders, religious leaders, political leaders. I'm addressing leaders of penal institutions here. I'm trying to help to offer some messages on how to arrest social degradation. I'm trying to address issues related to AIDS, particularly about empowering women. Because one of the biggest concerns is that here on our continent, that AIDS is affecting women and children the most. And so therefore, we must put our focus more in this area. We need to empower, to educate, to facilitate, protect the women folk, and to give more future for the children by seeing that we make society more auspicious by taking care of their health and education.
Yeah, briefly before you go, talking about women, I haven't seen women, dressed like that. It doesn't mean that you don't allow women into the monkhood or the top leadership.
We have more women in our society than men. We see women as queen, and therefore we feel that they must be taken care of nicely. But ultimately our society says that the soul is the same in man, woman, child. The body is only different.
Well, thanks so much for coming to share thoughts about it. You've talked about a whole range of things within this short time, and we say Akwaba. We wish you a happy stay in Ghana, and we hope you go with more beautiful kentes and native sandals to go and portray our rich culture in Ghana.